comes to Christmas food, there's a lot to prep the day before and even on the actual day of Christmas. And not just that, but if you like to bake things and have desserts and you make everything from scratch, it can be a very, very busy time. So with the lead up to Christmas, with only a few weeks left now to go, I actually start making things that I know that I'm going to want over Christmas, and I freeze most of it. So it's already done, it's already prepared. It's already cut up into slices if I need to cut anything up into slices, and it's in the freezer. So therefore I can just get out what I'm actually going to eat rather than get the whole thing out and then end up wasting it. And in today's video, I want to tell you things that I personally prep before Christmas to make my life a little bit easier as we get closer. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a solo mum to one, and on this channel I talk everything budgeting, saving, frugal living, and right now everything to do with Christmas. So if you like that kind of thing, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So if you've been following me for a while now, you know that I get a lot of bananas every single week, and I always wait until they're starting to go spotty and brown because I bake a lot with bananas. I make a lot of my desserts with bananas, and the browner they are, the sweeter they are. So I pick them up, I wait for them to go a little bit brown, and then I make things with them. So what I'm going to be making for Christmas is my oat cookies that I make every week, but I'll be making a double batch of them so I don't actually have to make anything extra on Christmas week when I'm even busier. I'm also going to make my chocolate and coconut fudge banana brownies as well, because I absolutely love those too. I actually put them in little silicone cupcake cases rather than make a loaf of them, and then I can just have one or two whenever I feel like I want one. The next thing I make with bananas is my banana bread. When I was plant-based, I made a banana bread with apple sauce, and it was absolutely delicious. So I will make a big banana bread, and I will cut that up into slices so I can have a slice whenever I want one over the Christmas period. Another thing that I make is my chocolate mousse cups, which is banana, melted chocolate, cocoa powder, and yogurt all mixed in together, popped into some little silicone cupcake cases and put in the freezer overnight, and they come out like chocolate ice cream bites. It's delicious. There is a video of me making them. It's a very old one, so it's not very good, but I will still link it in the description box below for you. And the very final thing that I do with bananas is, over the last couple of months, if I just have one spare banana left and I've got nothing to do with it, I will just slice it up and I put it in a freezer bag and I will pop it in the freezer. I now have enough in there to make some banana ice cream. I also did the same with strawberries. So I'm going to be making a strawberry and banana ice cream for myself when my son is with his dad. So that is everything that I make with bananas. Staying on the road to baking, the next thing I'm going to be doing is making some Christmas cupcakes. I'm actually going to be making these when my nieces come for a sleepover. They can help me make them. I'll get some Christmas sprinkles and put some icing sugar on them so that they can make their own cupcakes. But I will make a double batch, and I'll put a load in the freezer. And those cupcakes will be okay for a couple of months in the freezer. And when my son goes back to school, once or twice a week, I get a cake out the freezer, and he has it for his pudding after dinner. So I will make sure that I do plenty of Christmas cupcakes to enjoy the festivities, but also to have as backup in the freezer when it comes January. The next thing I will be baking is gingerbread men. I won't do a gingerbread house because I do not have the patience to put it together, but I love gingerbread. I love the biscuits, I love the smell, I love the decorations, I just love gingerbread. So I'm going to be making a big batch of gingerbread, whether that's a gingerbread man or gingerbread cookies, and I'm going to decorate them very festive because I absolutely love gingerbread. I don't think money's going to stay in the freezer because I love it that much, but that is something else I'm going to be making. Another thing I'm going to be baking as well is shortbread biscuits. It's much cheaper for me to actually make a massive batch of it. I can give a few to my dad, I can give a few to my brother and my mum, but we can also have some at home as well. And I don't really want to go out and spend an absolute fortune on shortbread biscuits, because basically this time of year you're just paying for the packaging, not the actual shortbread. You can get it for 99p, but everybody buys the big boxes of them because you're paying for the packaging. So I would rather make them and just have them at home and in the freezer again and just get them out whenever we want them. The next thing I'm going to be baking is mince pies. My dad gave me some mincemeat when he was giving me a load of food that he had that he wanted to get rid of, and he had some mincemeat in the cupboard, and he asked if I wanted it. He said, yeah, you could make some mince pies because yours are really nice. So I think that was a little hint from my dad to make him some mince pies. So I'm going to get some short crust pastry and puff pastry and make 2 different kind of mince pies. We also have a few elderly people in the area that I live. So I thought if I make a massive batch, I can give some to the elderly neighbours, some to my dad, some to my mum, some to my brother, but I don't know if he eats mince pies. I'm gonna have to ask him. And then we'll put some in the freezer. So we're gonna have plenty of mince pies. I'm going to use all of this up and we're gonna have mince pies for Christmas. And the final thing that I'm going to make is using my dried fruit that I found on the yellow sticker. It's got plenty of date left on it, so it's not going to run out of date anytime soon. And I make my fruit cake. Now I make a 4-ingredient fruit cake, which is dried mixed fruit, cranberry juice, flour and sugar. And that is all I need for my fruit cake. When I make it, I'm going to be vlogging it on my weekly vlog. So if you watch my weekly vlogs every Tuesday, you will see it on there. If you don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss those weekly vlogs. But yeah, I absolutely love this fruit cake. My mum loves it too. When I told her I was making it, she was just like, oh, I was like, don't worry, you will have some. You can have some, it's fine. So I'm going to be making a fruit cake as well. I think at the moment that is everything I'm going to be doing on the baking side of things, but there are other things I'm going to be making as well. So when it comes to savoury things for Christmas, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a massive batch of red lentil tofu. Now I don't just have this. I also have this huge bag of red lentils, and I'm going to make a big batch of red lentil tofu. So once I've overindulged and I want something a little bit healthier, rather than get everything out and cook when you don't feel like it because you feel a bit fat and frumpy where you've eaten all the chocolate and the sweets, if I already have some red lentil tofu in the freezer ready to go, all I've got to do is get it out, defrost it, season it, cook it in the air fryer, put some vegetables with it, and I'm done. And it would just make it a lot easier for me to do. Plus, when you do red lentil tofu, you need to let it set in the fridge for 8 hours. And if I'm going to do that over Christmas, when my fridge is jam-packed as it is, I think it's easier to do that now. The next thing I'm going to be making is some cheese puffs. So it's just basically puff pastry with grated cheese over it, folded in half and then cut into strips, and either twist them or I just leave them as they are, and it's just some cheese puffs. My son loves them as an after school snack sometimes. Plus it's better than giving him sugar all the time as well. My nieces absolutely love them and they freeze really well. And then once you take them out the freezer, they take about 20 seconds in the microwave and they're done. So I'm going to be making a big batch of puff pastry for my son to have on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, or for have as a snack when he comes back from his dad. The next thing I'm going to be making is some mini quiches. So I'm just going to use some silicone cupcake cases. I'm going to put some short crust pastry in the cupcake case, and then I'm going to add all my mixture in to make some little mini quiches. Obviously when they're cooked, the silicone ones are so easy for them just to pop out. You can have them as like a snacky tea or pickies or whatever you may call it. And the rest of them I can just put in the freezer. And if one Saturday I can't bother to do anything, I can just get them out and do another little party platter for our dinner one night. The next thing I'm going to do is sausages wrapped in bacon. I always make my own. I never buy the ones from the shop because I find them too expensive. I think this bacon cost me £1.65, and I picked up a couple of bags of the mini cocktail sausages for £1 in Farm Foods, and I'll just cut the bacon in half. And I will roll one sausage in each half, and I'll put them in a Tupperware tub, put them in the freezer, and then when we want them on Christmas Day, I can just get out what we need and I can just cook them off, and we've got them for Christmas Day dinner. But I can also use the rest of them throughout the rest of the Christmas period or going into January with part of a dinner or something like that. Now this year we are having Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve because my son splits Christmas Day with my ex-husband and my ex-husband will have him on Boxing Day. So we are going to have our Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve. So the day before I will get our meat out of the freezer. I will set the slow cooker up because I always cook my meat in a slow cooker because I haven't got to worry about it or check it. I just got to pop it in there, turn it on and walk away. I will prep all of the vegetables. I will make sure that all the roast potatoes are peeled and chopped and ready to go. I will also make sure that the stuffing is been made and put in the fridge ready for us the next day. So I prep a lot the day before, so when it comes to the actual day of Christmas dinner, I haven't actually got to do too much because I've already been prepared. So let me know, do you prep your Christmas dinner the day before? Or do you wake up super early to do it on the day that you are having your Christmas dinner? And the final thing that I will do for our Christmas pudding is I always have ice cream in the freezer anyway, just in case my son fancies an ice cream. But I usually make our trifle. So rather than do the big trifles that you had when you were a kid, or even have now, because there's only 2 of us, so we don't really need a big one, I use jelly crystals, custard, and sprinkles. And cream, but I can't buy the cream right now. So how I make my little mini trifle is I usually put some raspberries or strawberries in the bottom of this glass. I then make up the jelly crystals and I fill each glass about halfway full, and I leave that in the fridge overnight to set. So I usually do this around the 23rd of December. I then open my custard and I pour in some custard on top of the jelly. So, and then I just let that set and let that rest for a couple of hours. If I use one of these, I've always got extra left over. So I do the 80s thing that I used to have when I was a kid. Let me know if you had this, banana and custard. You couldn't go wrong. When your mum said, do you want banana and custard, your eyes lit up. So let me know, when you're a kid, did you have banana and custard, and do you still have it now? Let me know in the comments. Once the custard has just rested for a little while, I get some squirty cream and put that on the top, and then we top it off with some of these Christmas sprinkles. I usually let my son pick which ones he wants, but there are no gingerbread ones, so I think I might have to pick some gingerbread ones up, because you know me and gingerbread. So that is what I do, and that is the food that I prep starting from December onwards. So if you haven't watched all my weekly vlogs, go back and check them, because they might already be in there. If they're not, they will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. But what do you do? What do you make? What do you prepare for Christmas? Let me know in the comments below, just in case I've forgotten something and I can quickly whip it up while I've got time. So let me know your thoughts on what you are preparing to do for Christmas and how early do you prepare for them. If you found value from this video, don't forget to share it with someone else, because they might find it useful as well. Also, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so I know that you've liked it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from me. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a good morning, good day, or good evening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.